extent to which this person esteems you. In other words, how this person values you, how this person considers you. Remember, don't be fooled by provision. Immediately a person seeks to show his regard or her regard to you by buying you. That person is doing what you can. That person is lowering your standards. Because now the person is making you something like that can be satisfied only through provision. As a person, you want to establish as to where do I feature in a hierarchy of things. Where do I belong? What is my significance in you? How much am I worth in you? Because from the value, from the worth, then there will be care. Any care before worth is deceitful at its best. I hope we understand. Remember, we are talking about the relationship, something that has got to do with you here. You must never be part of a connection that does not value you. Very important. And the second aspect, the third aspect, is behavior. I said number one, in a relationship, there must be connection, something that keeps us together. Number two, there must be esteem, regard, value, proposition, the importance of each other, from which then you derive respect. Because respect is a way of saying, I value you. Care is born out of respect, which is born out of regard, consideration, worth, and then conduct. Now, a conduct that is manifested outside the realm of regard is a fake. Because a conduct should be your natural behavior before me because of the way you esteem me. So in other words, your conduct must be a sign of you showing me how much important am I in your life. Remember, we're talking about relationship. So now, here, it is not a conduct simply because of fear. No, it must not be a conduct out of fear. I'm not afraid of you. It must not be a conduct out of soliciting certain benefits. I am not conducting myself because you are my master, you are my servant. So now that's a circumstantial conduct. it's because of the plight I am in that I am conducting myself this way. You are my boss. Therefore, I am bound by the hierarchy, by seniority, to behave this way. Ordinarily, I should not. But I am behaving out before you out of the value, out of the consideration, out of the respect that I have for you. So those are the three important concepts underpinning the word relationship. Connect, regard, conduct. Now, that simply means before I do, you need to check who is connected with this person. So that you do not connect with the already connected. Mm. Now, be careful in this relationship. Is it a single plug or a multiple plug? So that you don't look for a single from a multiple. Because you will connect someone within or not, will you connect? Because this is a multi-plug, and all of them fit in. Within no time, you find there are 5 connections. Then you begin to say, no, I can't fit. Then the person says, well, I'm a multi-plug. I am purpose-built for multiple connection. So there are people who have a mind of a single plug, yet connected to a multiple plug. Very important. So then, in this connection, there is interplay, there is interaction, there is movement from all angles. By these, I mean conduct, regard. There's interplay. Now, that's what the relationship is about. So, therefore, I am saying, what role does relationship play in the life of an individual? So if you are in a relationship, what does that do to you? What is the impact? A relationship has an impact in a person's character. Positive or negative, depending on the type. Remember, there are abusive relationships, isn't it? Whether physical or verbal, whatever. So a relationship has an impact in a person's character. That's why, again, you'll find a person saying, what changed me is a relationship I once had with this person. It changed my character. I found myself a short-tempered person. I find myself easily get annoyed. I find myself reserved. So never underestimate the power of a relationship. It can make or break your character. So it's a change maker. How many people get into relationships as non-smokers, but they end up smoking, they end up drinking? How many people get into relationship very quiet, they end up becoming very loud and noisy? Relationship. And to be honest, if you were once in a relationship, you can tell how your behavior changed when you got into that relationship. It has an impact into your feelings, your pattern of life. It just affects you in many ways, a relationship. You cannot overlook that. But I'm saying the change could be negative, the change could be positive. It depends on the nature of that connection, regard, and conduct. Number two, it changes the way you think. A relationship can affect your mind. There are people who are mentally unstable because of the past relationships. Never underestimate a relationship. Ingakutholisa amaphepha. Yeah, it can make you to have a blackout. We have people in psychiatric institutions because they have been affected negatively by their relationships. And you see, with the relationship, it can affect you. It's so powerful, a relationship. It can affect you even at the terminal stage when you are ending. It has power to end with you. It refuses to end alone. It wants to make sure that you are part of its end. Hey, never overlook the power of a relationship. So that's why even in marriage, there are people you would even hear saying, if I die, at least I must die first before my spouse, because I can't figure out how will I live without my spouse. One would say we should rather die together. And other would say, since I lost my spouse, my life has never been the same again. Power of relationship. Not because the loss of the life of the spouse is attributed to any form of criminality. It was just a natural. But the way they were bonded, the person can't see himself or herself making it. And some of those people, they follow soon. That's the power of that relationship. So when you are single, you have an opportunity to learn, to invest in connecting with yourself than another person. Especially when it comes to romantic relationship. You must connect with yourself. You must connect with your siblings. You must connect with your parents. Because the experience and the lessons learned from that connection will shape your character and prepare you for whatever kind of other relationship you may enter into. Otherwise, the challenge we have is these extensions that are connected, yet the wires are not even covered. So you can see that here there could be fire at any time. Wires are bare. Intambo ziphandle. Kodwa uconnectile. That's danger. Because the house may catch fire. When you say, switch off first, switch off the switch, the plug. Even before you unplug the extension, the person say, no, get an insulation tape, don't switch off, don't unplug me. Use an... That's where we are. Now, who is able, when there's on a live wire? So we have people that say, keep it on, cover only the wires. We are saying, no, we must switch it off first, unplug it, take it away. Say, can't be unplugged. So, then, when the main switch switches off because it senses danger, then a person begins to say, what is happening? The plug is on, but there is no power. The main switch has stripped off. We have people that are living corpses. The main switch is off. The plug is on. We told you. No power. Nothing gets hot. No power. Now the problem is no longer on the plug. The problem is with the main switch. We try to pull it up, it's stripped off. We pull it up, it's stripped off. The problem is with the extension. Siyamba kunye bethuna ingani sena serious kakhulu. Eh? Are you fine? Okay. Because I can end here if you say, hey. Eh? People are so serious for days. So I'm trying to check good people, and am I annoying you? So, again, yes, again, a relationship has an influence on who you associate with. A relationship does choose people to be associated with. You know, a relationship is very powerful. It chooses you, it chooses for you the associates. It does decide the company that deserves you. You don't choose the company if you are in a relationship. The relationship chooses for you your company. And the company will teach you how it does things. So you are no longer in control of yourself. Again, a relationship has an impact on a worldview of an individual, how you look at things. It changes your perception, how things are supposed to be. So that is why, for an example, we are able to say, my brother, my sister, there is danger in marrying this person. There are things known that this person should not have even proposed you, or you should not even have accepted the proposal. The person says, Fundis. Mfundis. Nothing is impossible with God. Nothing is impossible with God. You tell, say, look. I remember this lady coming to me for prayer because before she met Christ, her womb was taken out for a particular reason. And I know you want to have a family when you get married. So this one cannot give you children, which is what you are looking for. She knows. I'm advising you. No, Mfundis, you don't know God. You don't even allow God to restore the wound first before. But you are saying, once we marry, then God will. You don't allow God to do his. There are people who are ahead of God. You don't allow God to do his work. And then you see, worldview. It can blindfold you. It can open your eyes. But also interpersonal skills. How you interact, how you relate with other people. Relationship can do that. That is why you hear people saying, "Hi, man, what changed? You changed. You are no longer that person we knew." It's because of relationship. Now, what remains your responsibility in this arena of relationship? What is your responsibility? What is it that nobody else can do except for yourself? Number one, moral soundness. To be morally sound, it's your responsibility. It's not an issue of relationship. So you must stop saying, it's because I did not want to lose him. So you cannot lose morals in order to sustain relationship. Because it simply means you want a relationship that is void or empty of morals. So you can't. So in an arena of relationship, sound morals is your responsibility. You can't apportion the blame to anything. It's your responsibility. Number two, boundaries. The no-go areas. Because a person without a boundary is like a city without self-control, without walls. Means like a city without walls. As a person, there should be areas of that you can't be undermined at. as a person. Remember, as a person, you cannot just be open. No. There are areas in your life where a person can't see even one of your teeth. There are areas in your life where you don't think twice, you fight. A good fight. Joseph in the house of Potiphar, he could not compromise. That is important. Number 3, deciding your choice. It's your responsibility to decide whom to connect with, to live with that person, to sustain and succeed with the choice. But also deciding to replicate your past or uplifting yourself from the past and navigating your own destiny is your responsibility. Now, what are the things we need to pay attention to then? Number 1, it's real love for marriage, need for marriage, desperation for marriage. They can make us get married. 3 things: love, need, desperation. But they do not sustain marriage except a relationship. Remember, we defined the relationship as connection, regard, conduct. And it? That's how we defined it. But what attracts us into marriage? Love. Love is not tangible. Love is not visible. Love. Number 2, a need. Diyamfuna. 3, desperation. Late. No kumphosa. It's late now. Can't miss out. Can't. I'm getting old. I'm 30 years now. And I told myself at 25, I would be married. So now you are desperate. But I'm saying, if you marry or you get into marriage because of those, they are good enough, they are sufficient to draw you inside. But they are inadequate to keep you inside. What keeps you inside is not what has brought you inside. What makes you admitted in a university is minimum admission requirements. But what keeps you in a university is your progression, or else you are excluded. And you get excluded having been admitted with flying colors in terms of your matric results. The university will kick you out because of you do not progress, you do not behave. So you will be a person who entered the university with flying colors, and the university will deject you with shame. So that's why it's important. Don't equate the attractors with sustainers. The attractors by nature are void of the ability to sustain. It takes relationship whether you will remain or not, which I have defined in 3 words: connection, regard, behavior. So that simply means when you see that the door is open, think about the inside before you move in. How many people have moved in and ended up being kicked out? They quietly, joyfully, peacefully moved in. Even when they speak, they say, we have moved in. We want to save. We have moved in. We have moved in. Then the people are in headlines, newspapers, violence between partners, domestic violence, cases open. They moved in now, has not even become they moved out, but they kicked out. What has changed? So, that's very important. Sorry. That's why before you move, yes, the door is open, but whilst the door is open, it's just good to go around the building. Is there any other ventilation? Well, if this door can happen to be closed, are there windows? You must move around and say, no, this house was built for prisoners. You know, there are small windows and they have back glass, which simply mean if that door can close, I will die inside. Then I say, I can't enter into this building because the conditions inside are very risky. But people get into the building, house, because it's open, and people say, hey, be careful. There's an entrance, but you won't find the exit. Now, biblically, marital relationship is the highest order. But the point that I want in this last bullet in this slide is, you always keep this in mind. Marriage is not a hospital for wounds from the past unsavory relationships. But marriage can be a theater to lay them open without anesthesia, bandage, and medication. Think about that. I'm just giving you honest truths. As I'm speaking, I'm providing you with clarity on some of the questions on things you have observed, that you have been wondering, what happened? What happened? What happened between sorrow? You see, because these things are happening, but it's such that we did not have someone that can give us a fact as to why it's happening. I'm saying marriage is not a hospital from the past unsavory relationship. So, but if you think it's a hospital from the wounds inflicted from your past relationship. Once you are inside, you'll begin to learn that this healer is opening wounds. And unfortunately, no anesthesia, no medication, and no bandage. So it's given that then, it simply means not every choice can become a dream fulfilled. Other choices can become dream shatters. So you have got to check, is their life? So that's why we always say, look, don't move. Number one, don't be quick to get into a romantic relationship when you can't even draw a line between lust and love. Because there are people who confuse lust with love. So they will say, I love you. And yet in reality, they lust you. Not L-A-S-T, but L-U-S-T. They L-U-S-T, but they have a language of L-O-V-E. You must be able to see L-U-S-T from the language of L-O-V-E. All 4 letters, all start with letter L. In L-O-V-E, you are safe. In L-U-S-T, you are edible. No, in L-U-S-T, you are edible. And that's it. That's how different it is. So, do not love what is not relevant for what you live and love for. By so doing, you are wasting your love. Check relevance. A failure is hardly attracted to a success due to its blindness, though with open eyes. Understand this, that I'm philosophical on that last sentence. A failure is blind, but with open eyes. A failure naturally is blind, but with open eyes. So which means it will take some kind of pretest to see whether is there sight. Eyes are there. They are open, but there's no sight. That's a sophisticated kind of blindness. You can't see, yet your eyes are open. That's a failure. And naturally, a failure never attracts success. Otherwise, it will cease to becoming a failure. It's like us saying you can have the devil and still be righteous. It can't. Very important. Now, how to navigate through, then we conclude. How to navigate through all of this. So, I'm saying every relationship must be lived meaningfully. I'm very general on this one. No relationship should lack meaning, and no relationship should have crisis. And number 3, there must be purpose and there must be boundary for each relationship. Now, the challenge is that, and I'm still struggling with this, but I'm better off now because even though I don't understand, but I help people. I'm still struggling to understand why would you commit yourself into something that you are not ready to deliver on. I've come across with people saying, I've seen a woman, I've seen a man, but we are still raising money to marry. I just don't understand, because you should have raised money before looking for a person. Or am I too backward? I'm just honest. Because because how are you going? Because even if you want to buy a car, you may not know the kind of a car. The common sense is, you know that it is a venture that has financial cost. You start with that. Even if you want to buy a car, a house, you start with that, isn't it? Now tell me, just make me understand. When the first is the last, are things not twisted? Now, if things are twisted, who is the twister? Just this week, talking to this young man came to me saying, I've seen a lady, Fundisi, going to come to you. So I said, that's fine, let's meet, and so forth. Now he says, hey, Fundis, I know you have been ready to see me, but the reality is, I thought I would have raised 30,000. Now, I can't even raise 30,000. So I think, let me come to you and say, it means I'm not ready, and I'm stressing. I'm having sleepless nights. Sometimes I fell sick because I'm stressed. I thought, now, then I listened, I sympathized with him. Then I said, look, when you are ready, let's just sit down and talk. Politely to say, forget about getting married now, because you nearly lost your life because of stress associated with poor planning. Now, let me assist you on budgeting. So I've got a pending session with that man. I did not even want to know the lady, because I'm already wasting my time. So I did not want to waste more time. But I pity that lady, because if you can't raise money, can you look after your family? If you can't raise money to start a family, can you look after your family? But they have already agreed. I don't know how are they going to do. And I don't understand what has been the grounds for that. And this young man has a lot of other family-related challenges. There's a lot. But I don't understand. So, I'm saying then, never be part of a relationship whose conduct destroys you and its intention. Just don't be a soft victim. I'm saying the personal relationship. I'm putting emphasis on personal relationship. Come to terms, affirm yourself, be bold, be proud of yourself, without necessarily being arrogant. Invest in your life, learn to be self-reliant, so that you don't go there already compromised, already as a dependent. No. So that's why then I said, do not form part of a relationship that has no future, no fulfillment. Like the example I've just talked to you. I can't see the future there. But you see the last bullet, when you are, before you do, you must be stingy and be generous after. Be stingy before I do and be generous after. I say, be stingy before I do, because you are running a risk of being stingy after you do, because you have been too generous before. Never be a wife behaviorally whilst you are a girl, and be a husband behaviorally whilst you are a single man. Don't do that. Enjoy your life of singleness. No man, no girlfriend. Enjoy a life of singleness. Develop yourself. Develop yourself. Invest in yourself. In closing then, singleness is for everyone, but marriage is not necessarily so. Think about that. Because remember what I said, that singleness is by birth. You are born single, and we are all born single. Then marriage is our choice. So personal relationship is everyone's responsibility, but marital relationship is a collective one. So that's why I put emphasis on personal development. So hence then, your singleness should not be overlooked before getting married. You have to work on your relationship skills before marriage encounter. Here is this. It is hard to be a victim from the relationship of singleness and be a victor in a marital relationship. Think about that. Nigena mansi. Is there no boggling the table? Okay. Very important. You see that bullet? It is hard to find a victim of relationship from singleness becoming a victor in marital relationship. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. So that's why then it is important to work on yourself. If you have been a victim, heal, recover fully before you enter into marriage. That's the point I'm saying. Otherwise, whilst you are still a victim on this relationship before marriage, I'm saying it's almost impossible to be a victor when you are married. Finally then, Helen Rowland has this to say. Before marriage, a man declares that he would lay down his life to serve you. After marriage, he won't even lay down his own newspaper to talk to you. So I like what Rowland says. Ladies, there's some truth there. Men declares that they would lay down their lives to serve you. You see now, we are even dramatizing it. Have you ever seen how engagements are done? Have you ever seen? And even I could see ladies pretending to not to have been knowing. But how could you not have known? Because an engagement ring has been bought. You had to fit it, isn't it? So you know. And it has been announced that there'll be engagement on this Sunday. Now, this person never knelt down before God. But when it comes to you, the person is able to kneel down with a bouquet. These knees is what God has been longing for. And God has been starved of the knees, but they are dramatized at the altar in the church. And you think you will be blessed. Yes, you will trend. You will trend. Yes, you will trend. But if God is not into it, and this is what is happening, we are struggling now to even conduct engagement because this ring, this flower, bouquet, this person said, I've been even struggling to have this person, this young man, in midweek services and everything, but I thought his knee are artificial. I see him kneeling for the first time here. Then whilst we are looking at that, the man says, can I say words? I've never even heard you praying. I've not heard you praying, let alone giving a testimony. But at the altar, you have words for the lady. You never had words for sinners. You have words for the lady. I always say, if it starts there, it means it has been learned somewhere. And if we have not seen you standing here testifying, the words you say here, you have learned them from somewhere. Only time will tell. So that's where we are. We end up spending 1 hour, people having rehearsed, some pretending to be separate. Instead of being simple, very honest,